I remember I wore a crop top and skinny jeans to the sleepover, and when I went inside, instantly I got greeted by the girl's father. And I saw him and went, oh, hey, like, how's it going? Acting really sus and pretending to be gay just so I can make sure I don't get caught inside this all-girls sleepover. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to another really embarrassing, but I gotta say, crazy story. So today's story all takes place back when I was in high school, and this was my grade 9 year. Now, in grade 9, I was a hopeless romantic, but at the same time, I'm not gonna lie to you, I always enjoyed a good challenge. And I remember there was this one specific day where one of my homies ended up walking up to me, and he walked up to me when we were all sitting in a group in the cafeteria, and he said to me, yo, Bubba, I just wanna let you know, bro, like, I just got a new girlfriend recently, and I'm not gonna lie, she's like mega hot. Oh, okay, that's cool, man, that's good for you. Yeah, and on top of that, not gonna lie, bro, like, you should see her friends. Like, bro, I think you'll like them. Okay, well, show me what they look like. At that moment, he pulled out his iPhone, and I remember out of nowhere, he ended up showing me like these photos of these girls like all in a group, and I'm not gonna lie, they were all like basically 10 out of 10s. At that moment, I started asking him more questions until out of nowhere, his girlfriend ends up appearing behind us, and she says, babe, why are you on my Instagram? Why are you showing him this? Like, are you just trying to show him my friends? Huh? Yeah, like, I was just trying to see if, like, you know, maybe like one of my boys could, like, you know, talk to him, you know what I'm saying? Oh, like, I don't know, like, you gotta understand, these are like real girly pops. Like, I don't think they're gonna be interested in, like, you know, Bubba or anything. At that moment, like, this girl barely knew me, and I'm surprised she already decided to say that these girls wouldn't be interested. So what I told her was, oh yeah, like, well, I mean, let me meet them, let's see if, like, you know, that's true, they're too girly pop for me. Bubba, I'm not gonna lie, like, you gotta understand, it's just not like you, it's just, you know, it's hard for these girls to be comfortable with like certain guys, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta be like really like iconic for them to be with you. When she said that, I really did not believe her, nor did I want to believe her, because let's be real here, like, I feel like any guy could pull any girl with the right technique. So what I decided to do was basically challenge her, and I said to her, you know what, let me meet the girls once, and if I do end up pulling any of them, you owe me a double date. When I said that, she kept being in denial, and she's like, no, like, it's not possible, like, no, like, you're automatically gonna lose, like, just leave it. And like, I don't really know why, but she was basically speaking for all those girls. And at that moment, I decided to basically do my own investigative research and figure out if I could pull them myself. How was this possible? Well, let's just say the power of the internet. I remember later on that day, I ended up going on my phone, I ended up going on Instagram, and I actually ended up following these girls on IG. But as I was following all of them, one thing I realized about every single one of them was that they had a rainbow flag on their bio. Now, there's a lot of things you put on your bio. For example, your age, what school you go to, what you do for a living. But these girls putting a rainbow flag in their bio only meant one thing, and that they support the LGBTQIA community. So in my mind, I thought, if I did the same thing and I reached out to them, would they be more interested in me if I had that in there? So that's exactly what I did. I ended up putting the rainbow flag in my bio, and I ended up basically kind of just chilling and started like following them and basically DMing them. And these girls replied back instantly, but the way they replied back was kind of a shocker. One of the girls were kind of surprised that I ended up actually reaching out, and she said to me, oh, isn't like one of your friends dating my girl? Yeah, is what I said back. And honestly, I didn't think it was gonna go anywhere. But then the other two girls that I ended up requesting to DM, they ended up reaching out right away as well, except they ended up asking me a question saying, oh, what pronouns do you use? At that moment, I didn't really know what that meant. Back in grade 9, like, what pronouns do I use? Like, what? So I ended up searching it up on the internet, and apparently I had to give the most basic straight answer of, well, what should be fairly obvious was he and him. When I ended up saying that, these girls ended up messaging me back and forth until out of nowhere later on that day, I ended up getting a message from my friend's girlfriend that spoke to me earlier about how I could never pull any of these girls. And she reached out to me and said, Bubba, why are you following my girlfriends? Like, what is this about? Huh? Wait, what do you mean? Well, like, they're talking about you in the group chat and like they think you're cute and stuff. Oh, do they now? Is what I replied back. And she ended up sending like the eye rolling emoji, and she basically ended up telling me, Bubba, I don't think you know what you're doing, but honestly, whatever you're planning, I don't want to be part of it. And she ended up leaving it from there. At that point, I didn't really see what the issue was. Like, a bunch of girls calling me cute, that didn't seem bad, right? Well, let's just say things got really insane the next day, because the next day I ended up going on my phone in the morning, and I ended up seeing I was put into a group chat called Sleepover. Now, I didn't know what this was. Me and the boys never really do sleepovers that much, because, well, I don't know, like, guys sleepovers, like, really? But going on, I remember when I clicked into the group chat, I saw it was me and a bunch of different girls, including my friend's girlfriend. And at that point, I was like, what in the world's going on? At that moment, I was in real shock, and I ended up messaging my friend's girlfriend saying, yo, bro, like, why are they putting me in this group chat? Wait, what? You're in our sleepover group chat? What's going on here? At that moment, she ended up basically looking into it, and then one thing led to another. She ended up just leaving the group chat. I have really no idea why she just left the group chat, but something definitely was off. I remember throughout the school day, I ended up keep checking my phone and stuff to see what was going on. And then that's when I realized one of the girls ended up sending an address and said, all right, everyone, this is the party for the sleepover tonight, so everyone better show up. I mean it. I ended up putting in the chat, wait, me too? Question mark. And then that's when they said, of course, like, we want you in there, Bubba. You're a cutie patootie. I didn't really know what was going on. Honestly, I thought I was dreaming, and I thought this was like some sort of prank, because there's no way, right? Like, all I did was just DM these girls. Like, they haven't even seen me in person yet. And then that's when that night, I remember I ended up going home from school that day, and I ended up getting a phone call. When I answered the phone, it was one of my homies, and he said to me, yo, bro, my girlfriend told me that, like, you're going to the sleepover tonight. Like, what's that about? Bro, I don't really even know. Like, I just got put into it, is what I told him. And then that's when his girlfriend ended up grabbing the phone from her boyfriend and said, Bubba, you do realize they think you're gay, right? Wait, what? Yeah, they saw the rainbow flag in your bio on IG, and they think you're some gay guy. So now they're inviting you to the sleepover. At that moment, I was so confused, but at the same time, it made sense, because they were calling me cutie patootie. They were like, you know, being weird with me. Like, it made sense to me. And at that point, she was like trying to convince me how, like, not to go to sleepover and how it's really wrong if I do. But at the same time, the challenge was still there. Can I pull these girls even if I was gay? Or I'm not actually gay, but you know what I mean. So what I decided to do that day is I ended up going into my older sister's bedroom. I ended up stealing a crop top, and I ended up wearing skinny jeans, and I decided to go over to the girl's place. When I got there, I remember I pulled up with my BMX bike, and I ended up putting my bike, like, hiding it somewhere in the bushes to make it look like I got dropped off, because, well, I had to pretend to be gay, right? And when I ended up knocking on the door, I remember instantly a dad ends up opening it, and he looks at me saying, oh, you must be the gay guy for the sleepover. And me, I had to pull on my best accent, and I went, oh yeah, like, you know, girl sleepovers, like, I love them. Like, I had to, like, act sus basically, which sounds super weird, but I basically pretended to be gay to make sure I could get inside the sleepover. When I was in there, I remember I ended up going upstairs to her room, and I saw a bunch of girls wearing the most tightest pajamas I've ever seen, and they're all just like hanging out, playing and stuff like that. And I'm kind of just sitting there like super confused on what's going on. And the things girls do in sleepovers really are just gossip. Like, I've never heard girls talk so much smack in my life. But for any ladies watching this video right now, bro, like, all you guys do is just talk smack on other people, but then contradict it by something else they did, and it's just mind-blowing. But going on with the story, I remember they kept doing that, and well, this is where things get really sus, because I remember I had to go to the bathroom. So when I was heading to the bathroom, one of the girls ended up following up behind me, and that's when she was like, wait, so like, are you like fully gay, or are you like bi? At that moment, I didn't know what any of those things were, so I ended up saying the more common answer to make sure I got stayed into the sleepover, and that was say, oh, like, I'm full-on gay girl, like, obviously. She looked at me really funny, and then she ended up going back into the room where all the girls were hanging out. And me, I went to the bathroom, and I pulled out my phone to instantly call the guys and video call them saying, yo, boys, I'm in the all-girls sleepover. They all think I'm gay. This is the most craziest thing ever. At that point, they were all freaking out, thinking I was crazy at first, but realized that I was actually in a girl's territory, pretending to be gay. Now, a lot of people think this is creepy and this is super weird, but you gotta understand, this was a big deal, okay? I was in grade 9. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. But going on with the story, this is where everything goes to, like, a blur. Because I remember I ended up going back into the room, and we ended up playing Spin the Bottle, but not Spin the Bottle that you think of. It's just Spin the Bottle where you tell a truth about yourself. I guess girls do this to get to know each other to, like, the fullest potential and blackmail each other later on when their friendships don't work out. So I ended up sitting down with them, and I remember we ended up, like, basically, like, spinning this bottle, and they're all, like, confessing, like, common truths about themselves. And then this is where things got insane, because one of the girls, she ended up looking at me, and she was, like, one of the hotter girls at the sleepover. And she looks at me and said, oh, like, if Bubba wasn't gay, I would definitely do him. At that moment, I looked at her, and I looked at everyone else, and I was, like, so, like, upset at myself because I came out as, like, I guess gay to them. But at the same time, I'm like, bro, I should probably just tell the truth. So what I did was I ended up, like, after the game, going up to the girl that said that, and I decided to pull her to a different room. I pulled her to a different room, and I pulled her, like, towards the bathroom in the hallway when all the girls were, like, laying down getting ready to sleep. And I looked at her and said, wait, so would you actually, like, date me or, like, you know, be with me if, like, I wasn't gay? Yeah, obviously, like, you're actually super attractive. And at that moment, that's when I told her that I'm not actually gay. I remember the look on her face. She was, like, in major shock, and she was so confused on what in the world was I doing pretending to be gay? And then at that moment, she ended up basically like at first having a shocked face, but then she smiled. She smiled. She ended up grabbing my wrist, took me to the bathroom, and she ended up doing the devil's tango with me. As insane as it was. But things didn't last long though, because I remember out of nowhere, the dad ended up knocking on the door because he saw two people in the bathroom, and he ended up opening it. And I guess this girl didn't lock the door because he ended up walking into me and her doing the devil's tango. And yeah, let's just say I got in major trouble to the point where they actually ended up calling the cops, and I got driven home and actually left my bike there, which I was really sad about because I love my bike. But that's not the point. I got arrested basically. For what? No idea. I guess like it was just the only way to like make this dad like be quiet because he was super upset with what was going on. But honestly, at the end of the day, like, would you guys do what I did? Because if you guys would, then fall for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys.